Hi, this is Bob Costas, and you're listening to the ML Sports Platter.
And the ML Sports Platter back with you all over the major platforms like Spotify, Google, Apple, Stitcher, Deezer, and more. Please do download and subscribe, leave feedback, and a 5-star review. That stuff does go an awfully long way. We're also available on Amazon Music and, of course, iHeartMedia. The podcast is, of course, brought to you by Rosie's Corner, our good friends at Sit Means Sit Syracuse, and Camillus Golf Club. Go play Camillus today in and around Central New York and the great state of New York. Golfers, you travel, and you'll want to go play at Camillus Golf Club. Since 1962, picturesque views, great greens, and awesome food after your round, as well as Under Armour gear in the pro shop as well. They got the great quarter zips. They've got the awesome polo shirts. So get on over to Camillus Golf Club today and visit them online at CamillusHillsGolfClub.com. And a big tip of the cap thank you as well to the Swan and Whitaker families for their support of the podcast, as well as the Vinciguerra Consulting Group and Brewerton Ace Hardware. What an unbelievable day it was in Troy, New York, just over a week ago, celebrating the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame class of Tino Martinez and, of course, Kevin Kernan of BallNine, one of the best writers out there, over 4 decades in the business, covering baseball, covering sports. And the owner and founder of BallNine was kind enough to invite me out to that event. I just had a spectacular time, met a bunch of great people. Eric Handler from the Yes Network, his dad Fred got inducted, who was a legendary coach for St. Bonaventure baseball, which was huge for me because I'm a Bonnie grad. And just so many great things, so many awesome connections, so many terrific people. Let's bring in Chris Vitali. He is the owner and founder of BallNine. Go get him on Twitter, at Chris Vitali and BallNine.com. Chris, thank you for a few minutes. Thanks for asking me to that great event, man. How are you?
Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, man. What an event. I can't thank you enough, by the way, for inviting me. It was great to be at the table and meet a few of you over at BallNine in Rocco and yourself and Honor and KK going into the Hall of Fame. What were some highlights for you, your journey out east?
Wow. It was kind of, the whole thing for me was kind of last minute. I wasn't even sure if I was going to go. And, I couldn't not go. I mean, so it was a great night. I mean, getting to hang out the night before, hang out with Tino Martinez a little bit, obviously Kernan getting in, and just all the speeches were great. It was just all around a good night. I got to hang out with my dad, which was cool. I haven't seen him in a couple of years, so that was probably my highlight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. It just felt like baseball heaven, didn't it? And how about Kevin Kernan's speech? That was incredible,
great.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, that was great. It was, in my eyes, it was the funniest one of the night, especially
too.
that Bond story. So yeah. that was awesome.
Yeah. You created and founded BallNine, and obviously, you bring Kevin in. How has he changed the game for you guys?
I mean, I think off the bat, it gave us a little bit of an air of credibility, I guess, and to know that we're not a couple guys that are just screwing around, and because we were. I mean, at the very beginning, it was just we were gonna let's write some funny stories about baseball cards and whatever, and then it just kind of I got in touch with Kevin, and all right, these guys might know what the hell they're talking about. And, it just continued to grow and grow. And, it definitely pushed us forward from, a blog to whatever it is we are now, which I guess is, a company and a little media company. So,
yeah.
Can't complain.
Yeah, and the content is fantastic. Some of the recent things that you guys have put out lately, I mean, they're just absolutely phenomenal. Do you have a favorite part of BallNine? Being the owner and founder, is there something that the baseball fan in you, the sports fan, the media reader, whatever the case might be, is there a favorite part of your own project here that you like the most?
I think so. I think the fact that I get to read everything first is my favorite part.
Yeah.
So I get to put my little 2 cents in, and because, we all pretty much agree on the way, that we all view baseball. So, I mean, it's the way I feel about it. It's what I would write, but, it's different voices doing it. So I think that's what's great, is that it's it's kind of like me with multiple personality disorder, So, it's just many, many voices, but, the overall theme is pretty much the same.
So you had mentioned the highlight for you, out east, seeing your dad, and obviously right behind that, hanging out with Tino Martinez. Tino Martinez obviously was a highlight for me as well. I had met him a couple years ago at the Mariano Rivera induction. Just a super, super class act type of a guy, and I interviewed him there. Pettit was there. Posada was there. I interviewed him right in a row, all three of them, just for a couple of minutes. And then it was good to connect again with Tino, just recently at this event. But just even with that, and maybe even higher for me for a highlight, was the fact that my alma mater was all over this event. I mean, St. Bonaventure baseball was everywhere. I was pumping them hard on Facebook. I'm taking pictures. I'm sending Eric Handler videos over, during the speech. Kevin Lester went in, and then, of course, a legendary baseball coach, Fred Handler, whose son works at the Yes Network. I couldn't get enough of the Bonaventure talk and the fact that everybody really cared, and they were asking questions about Bonnie. Hey, John McGraw went there. Hugh Jennings went there. Fred Handler Park is there. Like, that's a school that produced Bob Lanier. It produced, some of the greatest old school baseball and basketball players in the history of sports. I loved that my school was a part of it.
Oh, that was outstanding, and I mean, it was just great hearing these stories and hearing and everybody. It was just a celebration, and that's always nice. There's just made you feel good. You hear these stories, and like you said, I mean, your alma mater, and I loved when Eric Sherman got up there.
That was
he was, he was talking, about, inducting Jerry Koosman, and and Tino even, inducting Lou Piniella, who, I hope he, gets healthy, and would have been great to see him there. It was just the love of baseball that night, and I think everybody there loves baseball just as much as we do, if not more. So it was a great thing to be a part of, and well worth the jet lag, traveling across country twice in a week.
Yeah, no doubt. A couple more for Chris Vitali, the owner and founder of BallNine. Visit him online at ball9.com and follow Chris on Twitter at Chris Vitali. Let's get into the Yankees here. I mean, July 6th, they've made up 10.5 games.
Unbelievable.
Since July 6th. Did you see this coming?
I hoped it was coming, but I didn't see it coming. I don't know how many people really saw it coming. I think if anyone who says that they expected this, I don't believe them. They all of a sudden they just got their heads out of their and they're playing great baseball. Guys got hurt. They brought up some more athletic types that kind of changed the game, and now they're stealing bases. They're playing defense, adding Rizzo. Just getting his defense at first base is huge. I'm loving this kid Velasquez. It's just they're fun to watch again, and they actually want to win. It looked like they were sleepwalking through the first half, and you know it as well as I do. Oh
gosh, no kidding. Velasquez, by the way, what a story. I mean, he's a Bronx native guy. Went to Fordham Prep. He's sleeping on his parents' couch right now,
That's
and then he's going to Yankee Stadium.
I didn't know about the couch. I knew he was staying at his parents'
house.
I didn't know about a couch.
Sleeping on his parents' couch, and then he's just waking up with his parents, regular Joe Schmo, like he's 14 years old, and he goes to Yankee Stadium to play a game. No big deal.
It's unbelievable. They need to get that kid an airbag or something. I mean, somebody chip in.
I know, right?
We can't have him hurt his back on a couch.
That's right, yeah. And knowing the injuries, he would get hurt on this team, right?
Exactly, and that would be so Yankees.
It would be.
Andrew Velasquez, tweaked his lumbar on the pull-out couch.
Right, yeah. So, upper body injury, sleeping at his parents'.
Stiff neck.
Stiff neck, yeah, there you go. So I've subscribed to a new theory, and I don't know if I'm onto something here or not, but because I've told you a bunch of times, I was hoping this year, actually, the Yankees would just completely bottom out finish in last place, start over, rebuild, Hal wake up, get rid of Cash, get rid of Boone. But and look, them starting to win a little bit maybe change my tune. But here's the thing. I don't know if Hal is ever going to change. Like I don't even know if they even bottomed out if he'll ever move off of Cashman, if he'll ever move off of Aaron Boone. I mean, it seems like those two guys are like cemented in. So I've kind of given up on bottoming out. I'm just like, well, just go and win and do the best you can, and hopefully you guys look good. And I like watching you. Like I'm kind of in that camp now, man.
Well, I mean, I was absolutely in the fire everybody camp at the beginning of the year because why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
It's hard to say it now. It's really hard to say it now. And I mean, I don't want to see them lose, but I mean, if the season continued the way the first half played out, then by all means, I would have, get rid of everybody. But I don't know, a couple shrewd moves. I still think that, getting Odor he's just one of those glue guys. He's not, he's not great at anything, but he's just a good guy, I guess, in that clubhouse, and that kind of helped, and that brought a little energy and a little spark. Same thing with Rizzo. I just, obviously, I don't know if they have what it takes to take down, say, the Giants or the Dodgers, if they get that far.
Or the Rays. I mean, come on.
Well, they just don't lose.
Yeah, they don't. They win every night.
They just don't lose. So I don't exactly remember how many games they have left against Tampa, but that should be a great series, and that should be really interesting, and that's a good litmus test to see where they are. So
yeah, there's no doubt. By the way, the other big thing that I think has changed this team is, Giancarlo Stanton blocks your roster only to a certain point. The last part of it is, are you babying him or not? $30 million a year to hit and just, sit around twiddling your thumbs on the bench. No. Get in the field, get a glove, go play. Well, guess what that does? When you do that, you can DH Luke Voit, and then you can put Rizzo at first. Now you're more versatile, you're balanced, you've got the power, both sides of the plate. And Stanton...
That's your best lineup.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, man, if you talk to old school baseball people, and new school for that matter, people who just know the game, who've played the game, who are in it, who have scouted, whatever the case may be, they'll tell you 10 times out of 10 that if you're fielding and you're hitting, your focus goes up in each area because of the other.
Absolutely. And Stanton has said that himself. So, I mean, it's not Stanton saying that he doesn't want to play the field. He said countless times that he's just better when he's on both sides of the ball. So, hopefully, I get that he has an injury history, but, you got to run him out there. You got to let him play. And like you said, I mean, then you DH Voit. If you can kind of move pieces around. You want to rest Rizzo. Good, you have Voit at first. I mean, it's I'm curious. I'm curious to see what happens when they get Urshela back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious to see what happens with Velasquez if they keep him around somehow. September's almost here, and I know they're not doing 40-mans anymore, but what is it, 27 or 28?
Yeah, 27, whatever the heck it is, and somebody gets sent down, somebody gets sent up. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's I used to love the 40-man.
I do too.
September call-ups and everything, but so it should be interesting to see how they play around with that, because I mean, I think you have to keep Velasquez around. The kid's got wheels. He plays slick defense. He's showing you, he can. He's not bad with the bat, so Glaber can take his time getting back. That's all.
The Yankees have 3 games left against Tampa, and it's the last game of the last series of the year.
Wow. Okay. So
in the Bronx.
Really interesting.
Yep, in the Bronx, October 1, 2, and 3.
That's even better. It's not even in the giant porta potty drop. But
that's awful. Final thing, I wanted to give you an opportunity to promote. You've got the side T-shirt thing rocking. With swag and a whole bunch of great stuff from an awesome company. I wanted to get that out there to my listeners where they can get it. Some of the products are just absolutely incredible, including the 755 T-shirt, which, by the way, you were pictured in with Tino Martinez. Yes. Can you get into that a little bit, Chris, and where people can go?
Sure. It's company's called Big Fly Gear. You can everything is available on bigflygear.com. Victor Rojas actually started the company about 2 years ago while he was doing the play-by-play for the Angels. And he recently took the job as the president and GM of the Frisco Rough Riders, the AA affiliate for the Texas Rangers. So he didn't have time to run the day-to-day of the company. So that's where, I came in and, I bought a, majority stake in the company. Rocco's involved as well. And, so the three of us we're putting stuff out. We did something recently with the Negro League Museum.
Awesome.
Excuse me, and Bob Kendrick.
Yep.
It's a shirt of Bob Kendrick. And, some of the proceeds from that were going towards the museum. We sent up a bunch of shirts. They're for sale in the shop.
That's an awesome shirt. I just saw it for the first time. I'm online right now looking at that. What a cool,
it's hysterical, right?
Shirt. And classic Bob Kendrick in a tailor-made head-to-toe suit with that top hat.
Absolutely. We were torn whether to go with red or blue, but we went with the red because of the Kansas City Monarchs. So, we did that. We actually did some work with the company Warstick, which is owned by Ian Kinsler and Jack White of the White Stripes, who oddly enough is a huge Tigers fan. So we did a design with them. Designed a couple bats as well that that were for sale, signed by Kinsler, and I think there was like a run of 25.
Wow.
So we have some stuff going on there too, and it's fun. It's interesting trying to juggle the two, but it keeps me busy. What can I say?
No doubt about it. Well, again, go get them at bigflygear.com. I'm on the website now. The shirts are incredible. Chris Vitali, BallNine, at Chris Vitali on Twitter, BallNine.com. Go check out the content. Chris, thank you so much again for including me. Love having you on the show, man. And, hey, get some rest, okay?
Yeah, I need it. Always a pleasure, Mike. I appreciate it.
The ML Sports Platter is brought to you by our great friends over at Sit Means Sit Syracuse, the best dog training in Central New York. If you're in and around the area, any breed, any behavior, any dog, go see them. Sit Means Sit Syracuse and visit them, sitmeansit.com. Tip of the cap, thank you as well to Welch & Company Jewelers, Stanley Law Offices, Rosie's Corner, and Matt Graham, your State Farm agent. Get a free rate quote today from Matt at SyracuseInsuranceAgent.com. Home, life, bank, health, business, auto, you name it, Matt can help you out at SyracuseInsuranceAgent.com. Matt Graham and State Farm are there for you. I mean, the few things that have really turned the Yankees season around, I mean, number one, at the trade deadline, they went out and got Rizzo. They went out and got Gallo. And I know that Rizzo, has had, the corona issue and all the rest. But the reality is that, who knew, right? You need power from the left side with a short porch. Wow, who knew, right? So those two guys bring character. They bring heart. They bring left-handed bats. They bring power to the short porch. Rizzo's a championship player from a championship clubhouse in 2016 with the Chicago Cubs. So they're instantly really, really, really good fits for a lot of reasons. I think number two is you've got a lot of feisty guys who fight on this team, and you always got to have those guys, right? I mean, you go back to the old Yankee teams of Vizcaino or Luis Sojo or role players, even a Joe Girardi, a Chad Curtis, a Shane Spencer. I mean, you need those type of guys. And I would almost put Nestor Cortez, in there as well from the pitching side of things, who he's kind of saved along with Jameson Taillon, a rotation that was kind of in shambles. I mean, Corey Kluber looked good, then he goes down. He's still out. I think they're still hoping to get him back in September. Jordan Montgomery pitches solid, but they don't ever score for him. Garrett Cole goes out with corona. And Nestor Cortez and Jameson Taillon have stepped right in. I mean, this was a time, I think, this year where many of us expected that Davy Garcia would be ready to go again and pitch for this team. He's not. So there's a lot to look at here in terms of how they're turning it around. And Andrew Velasquez certainly, Kyle Higashioka, those two guys have been just absolute burners. They play hard every night. They're great stories. Rougned Odor, those kind of guys, those scrappers, right? They're like great compliments to Tyler Wades. They've complimented the power boys, the big guys in the lineup, They've complimented Stanton. They've complimented Judge. They've complimented Rizzo and Gallo. They've complimented Voit. And LeMahieu was somewhere kind of in the middle of all that, right? The best player I still think on the team. I mean, the guy makes sensational plays in the field every night. He's starting to come around with he has started to come around with, runners in scoring position. And he's clutch, so those are the things that have happened. This is what, has happened. This is the key to the turnaround, the keys to the turnaround. Look, Stanton, keep playing Giancarlo Stanton in the field because they're a better baseball team when Stanton plays the field, which means you can DH Luke Voit, which means you can play Anthony Rizzo at first base. You can then have, the lineup that they had last night, I thought, as I record this, was phenomenal. I really, really thought that Aaron Boone, who has had his troubles with lineups, I really liked the lineup a lot. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I thought it was fantastic. They went Luke Voit, Anthony Rizzo, Aaron Judge, Joey Gallo, Giancarlo Stanton. Gardner ended up, in there late, of course. Odor, Velasquez, Higashioka, and then Tyler Wade. Righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, righty, lefty. Right? It's a lot different than righty, 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 lefty, righty, 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 righty. So I like this lineup that they produced. I think that this is going to be an interesting rest of the way here for the Yankees. I mean, I talked about with Chris here just a minute ago. I chatted about the schedule and the Rays and all that. They have 3 more games with the Tampa Bay Rays. It's the last 3 games of the season. But other than that, they've got to finish this current series with the Minnesota Twins. They've got the Braves for a 2-game set in Atlanta. Kind of a weird deal there. A Monday, Tuesday in August, the 23rd, 24th. Then a day off on the 25th. Then they play 4 at Oakland. Just a monstrous series, as we know that Oakland currently holds the second wild card spot in the American League. And then just like that, they go right to the Angels for a couple of games, a little West Coast stretch. And we know that actually for 3 games, they go to the Angels. And we know the West Coast thing has not been kind to them in the past. Then they come home for a nice home stretch. They play the Orioles for 3. They play the Blue Jays for 4. They go at the Mets. They go at the Orioles. And then they're home for the Indians and the Rangers for 3 and 3. And then they have the Red Sox at Fenway for 3. And then 3 at Toronto. And then 3 against Tampa Bay at home to close out the season, October 1st to the 3rd. So should be an interesting stretch without question. But certainly the keys to the turnaround, it's really simple. I mean, it's been the grittiness of players like Higashioka and Wade and Velasquez. They play so hard every night. It's the Rizzo Gallo impactful additions and more balance and versatility. And with all that, comes a lot of confidence. You start winning games. You start having fun and being confident. And you get on a roll. And they're on a 7-game win streak as I speak. And the Stanton playing the field thing is a big deal. What's crazy, and I'll end on this, is that the tables have turned so much that the weak link of the New York Yankees is the bullpen. Remember, for like a few years, it was all about the bullpen. It was, the Yankees traded Chapman and Miller in 2016. They end up getting Chapman back, and they get Britton. They add him to Chapman. They have Chad Green. They've got, at one point, Jonathan Holder. They have all these different options, right? All these big-time relievers. Now, you don't trust Chad Green. You don't trust Aroldis Chapman. You don't trust Zach Britton. Britton and Green they have looked horrendous. We know Chapman is just a disaster. The only guys I trust really out of the bullpen right now, I'd probably say Wandy Peralta, who isn't a closer, and Jonathan Loaizaga. The problem, though, too, is that Loaizaga gets himself in jams all the time. When will he get himself in a jam and not be able to get out? I don't know. The options aren't there that much. And, you're just hoping that the starting pitching holds on so that the bullpen, can at least get rested and all that, because they can't live this way without a doubt, to have their 3 back-end guys just super, super unreliable. Mike Lindsley with you here. It's the ML Sports Platter. Be on the lookout for my ML Sports Takes and 9 Minute with Mike Lindsley segments all over the major platforms of social media like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and IGTV. We're brought to you by Stanley Law Offices, Bryant and Stratton College, CNY Electrical, and our great friends over at Burton Ace Hardware. Make sure you visit if you're in and around Central New York, Route 11. And by the way, they're right by Rosie's Corner, so you can go shop at Ace, see their sales and specials, check out all their grills. They've got a lot of different amenities if you're a fisherman. So go check out all the stuff they have. Ace Handyman Services, the paint studio. Get your best paint for any project inside and outside at your house. Go visit them online at acehardware.com. Burton Ace Hardware on Route 11 by Rosie's Corner. Grab some pizza after your visit to Burton Ace Hardware at Rosie's as well. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports, and as I always tell you, enjoy the games.